Hey boys and girls, welcome back. We are on day 4 officially of April's Number Corner, second day back from spring break. I hope that you have finally gotten back into the groove of being back in school, or at least following the same routines that you did before spring break if you're still learning at home. Okay, we have a couple things to do today. Yesterday we talked about our calendar grid and we looked at all of our calendar markers. I'm going to show you what today's marker looks like since it is Tuesday, April 13th. And it looks like we have a triangle that has where no sides are equal. Do y'all remember what we call a triangle where none of the sides are equal? What is it? Did you say scalene? It's a scalene triangle. A scalene has sides that none of them are equal. And so this month, when we're looking at our calendar pieces, we're focused on finding the perimeter, which is the distance around the shape. And in order to do that, we're adding up all the sides. So we would have 6 plus 4 plus 5, which is, good, 15 centimeters. So I will update that on our calendar recording sheet, okay? The next thing we're going to do today is we're going to play color 10. And we're going to finish off with completing a workbook page, much like what we just did together, so that I can see and your teacher can see that you paid attention to what was happening in this video. So let's get started. All right, so if you would, please get out your number corner book. We are on page 82, so this is our second time playing color 10 for the month, and we're still playing with halves and fourths and eighths. So I'll give you a moment to get that out. You may remember we played this before spring break, and we had to spin a spinner, and then we chose if we wanted to color in that many halves, to color in that many fourths, or to color in that many eighths. And the goal was to get 10, as close to 10 as possible, whether we went over 10 or under 10, but we want to be as close as possible to 10 in order to win. And we each got 5 spins. So we are playing with game number 2 today, since we've already done game 1. So Miss Trammell filled it out on the wrong section, but that's okay. I'm going to zoom in here for our spinner. So we'll just use the spinner on this page, and then I'll start coloring in on our game 2 page. Remember, you are following along with me with color pencils because we're going to use a different color for each turn. And you'll color in for me, and you'll color in for you as well. And then at the end, we'll figure out how many or how much all of our fractions add up to be, and how far away we are from 10 and who won. Okay, let's start. Last time I spun first because I wanted to show you how to play the game. So I'm actually going to do that again because maybe you forgot since we did just have spring break. So I'm going to go first for this game, and then you'll go. Just to remind you of what you should be thinking about when you're trying to determine what you're going to color in for your turn. So here's my spin. I got a 7. So I can choose to color in 7 halves, I can color in 7 fourths, or I can color in 7 eighths. And since the goal is to get as close to 10 as possible, I'm probably going to color in 7 halves. So here's 2 halves. Here's 4 halves, 6 halves, and then 1 more half here. And then on the side, I'm going to write the total that I got. See? And we're going to change it from an improper fraction to a mixed number. So here I have 7 halves, which is the same thing as saying how many holes? 3 holes and 1 half. I also should remind you that whenever you spin, you can't mix up halves, fourths, and eighths. You can't color in some halves and then some fourths. You just have to color in all halves, or all fourths, or all eighths. Okay? So here's your spin. And you guys also get 7. And if you remember that during this game, I'm allowing you guys, since you should be following along with me, to choose what you're going to color in. I'll make a choice based on what I think maybe you should color in, but if you chose something different, that's okay. At the end of the game, when we add it up to see who was closer to 10, just make sure you're adding the numbers that you came or that you decided to color in. So, since you also got 7, I'm going to color in 7 halves for you. And I'm just going to color it in a little more quickly than what I did last time. 6 halves, here's 7 halves, and I know 7 halves is the same thing as what Miss Trammell just did. It's 3 and 1 half. All right, my turn. Ooh, I got 12. I can't color in 12 halves because I only have 3 halves left. So maybe I'll choose to do 12 fourths. So that means here's 4 fourths, and we have another 4 fourths, so 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I have colored in 12 fourths, which is the same thing as saying 3 holes. You with me? All right, let's go to your spin. Yikers, that looks like it is pointing more towards the 11. So just a little bit past the line. So you get to choose what you're going to color in. I'm going to assume that maybe you chose to color in 11 fourths. So if you colored in 11 eighths, you wouldn't have colored in as many holes, which means you wouldn't be as close to 10 as I am. So here's 8, then we have 9, 10, 11. So we have 11 fourths here, which is 2 holes and 3 fourths. All right, let's keep it moving. I got 8. I may color in, I'll color in 8 fourths because I have 8 fourths. So here's 1 fourth plus 4 fourths, which is 5 fourths, 6, 7, 8. So now I'm actually going to erase this. So I don't want to run on mathematical equation. I just colored in 8 fourths, which gives me 19. Yes, 19 fourths, which is 4 holes, and then 3 fourths of another hole. So I'm really close to 10 already, which means I gotta play strategic for my next few spins. Oh, and I didn't use a different color. Ugh, Miss Trammell. Let me color over that in the color I need. So I'll make this. So here was my 1, and then I had 4. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8 right here. So that's 8 fourths. Okay, now it's your spin. You also got 8. What are you going to choose to do? Ugh, and I even colored it in on the wrong thing. You guys, Miss Trammell is tripping really hard today, clearly. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to erase this because I colored it in on the wrong piece. And I'm going to color it in up here. I got 8 fourths. You guys also spun 8, I believe. You did. So I'll do plus 8 fourths, which was 20 fourths. And so I guess I didn't really need to erase that, huh? Which is 5 holes. You guys also got 8, so I'm assuming that you would want to color in 8 fourths, which is still the 19 fourths that Miss Trammell just erased because I wasn't thinking. And that is 4 holes and then 3 fourths of another hole. Alright, so now I'm all caught up. We've had 3 turns, we have 2 more turns, each. And let's get it on the road. Alright, so I get 9. My only real choice is to color in 9/8 here, so that's 1 whole. And then another 1/8. 9/8. And I could change it to a mixed number, but I'm going to hold off for now because I know I have one more turn and it looks like I'll probably only color in 8ths. So I got 1 and 1/8. And then you guys get 12. So you probably, the only thing you can color in is 12/8. So that's 8/8 plus another 4/8. And then we have our last spin. So here it is. Ooh, I got 6. So I'm going to change it to orange and I'm going to color in 6/8, which is going to look like this. So I'm adding 6/8 and that's for my last turn, which is 15/8. And I can tell that that is 1 whole and 7/8. And for your last spin, you guys got 8. Lucky, lucky. So you can color in this half, that's 4/8, and then another 4/8, which is 8/8. And that's 28, which is 2 wholes and a half of another whole, or I could say 4/8, but we're working really hard on equivalent fractions, so I'm just going to say a half. So now you guys need to figure out your total, and I'm going to do the same. Alright guys, I went ahead and calculated. Hopefully you paused the video and you've calculated also, and if you haven't, please go ahead and pause the video at this time. I added up mine, 3.5 plus 5 plus 1 and 7/8. I started with my whole numbers, so 3 plus 5 is 8, plus 1 is 9, and then I had my half. And then I broke 7/8 up into 4/8 plus 3/8, and I know 4/8 is a half, so I can combine like terms. And then another 3/8, so I have 10 and 3/8. If you colored yours in like I did, and if you did it differently, then you may have a different score. But if you did it like me, then it would be 3.5 plus 4 3/4 plus 2.5, which my whole numbers, 4 plus 3 is 7, plus 2 is 9, and then I have 2 halves, which we know is a whole, so that's 10, and then 3/4 left over. So who was closer? Was I closer to 10, or were you guys closer to 10? Based on these numbers, I'm closer to 10 because 3/8 is smaller than 3/4, which means it's a shorter distance from 10. If I go 3/4, that means I'm actually getting really close to 11, my next hole. So, Ms. Trammell won again. All right, at the very bottom of the page, we are now adding fractions, much like what we were just doing for our Color 10 game. So you guys have 2 assignments for now. You need to work on this bottom page, and I'll do 1 in each row for you to go over the directions. And then you have another workbook page. So let's start with me going over 1 in each row, and then I'll show you the other workbook page, and then you will be done because you'll have a few moments to work independently. Okay? So let's choose 3/8 plus 4/8. That's easy, right? Because the denominators are the same. So if the denominators are the same, then I just add my numerator straight across. And I would get 7/8. The tricky thing is it says if it's an improper fraction, convert it to a mixed number, which we've been doing. You can do it. And you can also use these pictures up here to help you. Okay? This one is find each product. Now we have a whole number times a fraction. So if I have 3 times 2/8, that means I have 2/8 3 times. So 2/8 plus 2/8 plus 2/8, which would be 6/8. And maybe you notice that you end up just multiplying across because 3 is the same thing as saying 3/1, right? Remember that from 3rd grade? Okay, And then in the last row, I'm just going to make it a diagonal. I want something times 3/8 to give me 12/8. So if you remember, I just told you, you multiply across, what times 3 would give you 12? Or I can think about it like this, 3/8 plus 3/8, that's 6/8, so that's 2 3/8, plus another 3/8, that's 9 3/8, 9/8, that's not enough, gotta add another 3/8. I had to add 4 3/8 to give me 12/8. That's what you're doing for this page. The other page that I want you to work on is page number 77, and hopefully this will be easy for you because we've already done it together. I just want to see that you understand perimeter. You're supposed to write down the shape name, how did you find the perimeter, and what the perimeter was. So good luck. You have a few moments. Hopefully work hard, and I will see you tomorrow.